we're going to deal with why is the surname placed over and above the Christian name, even on the format of these documents. You'll notice that the surname, even though it's at a distance, we've shown this in previous videos, so that's fine. I'm not worried about you seeing this because you've seen it before in close-ups and other videos. The surname is basically over and above what would be your Christian name. English law always considered the first name as a Christian name and the last name being the surname, or what is considered to be the Roman civil family name. They're doing that because they're saying, or they're implying, that whoever is going to basically be participating in their system, though you're being framed to be joining something that you had no consent to join, and therefore render this document null and void anyways, because you can't enter into Roman civil law without consent, because it's a contract and you can't be a minor in a contract. So therefore, this document could never be used for identification, which is why at least the provincial governments have stated that they would not accept the statement of birth as identification alone, because it is basically placing two things at the same time in a frame that cannot be used to enforce against the individual, because they were at an age where they could never have consented to join into legal duties, debts, and obligations. They could never surety another's debt and operate in a legal system that works in blasphemy to what God states. Now, the Christian name certainly is not inferior to the legal surname, but when you're operating in the legal world of Caesar and you're willing to consent to take on the duty, debt, and obligation as a surety for that name, well, then you are operating basically in contravention of God and what is natural and what is true. You're working in fiction, which is a lie. Now, we know that if I stated the definition of a surname on its own to someone looking at the truth and the power of God and the Bible, and someone said that Caesar or something legal is superior to Jesus Christ, that would be blasphemy. And that's why in Revelation it says that the harlot spoken of that is sitting on top of the beast, referring to the unholy Roman Empire and the Vatican and the Pope, that they basically are sitting on this beast, but they are basically in a situation where they're energizing that very concept of the surname, because the Pope has stated that the surname belongs to the church, to the Kirk. So it's the head of all this deception, and therefore it's saying something that is really blasphemous, and that's why it says that it is full of names of blasphemy in Revelation. Well, blasphemy was something to be against Jesus Christ, so a surname being over and above or superior to the Christian name is blasphemous. And that's why you have, when you walk into a court and you swear into the record, you're blaspheming Jesus Christ right off the top. Affirming it's not going to make it any better, because an affirmation is no different than basically swearing in. It's equal in their law. So you're just affirming the very same blasphemy. We have to really stop and start to realize, what are we doing? Are you under a spell? Well, certainly according to this document, you could possibly be under a spell of Satan, because that surname is a name of blasphemy. It is basically putting you in a position where you have conformed to a pagan ritual. You're sacrificing to idols. Be careful where you're going with your idolatry ID.